We are live. This is the market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. The jobs report is out. And wouldn't you know, when there's a change in administration, the jobs report is both A, weaker than expected, and B, there's another gigantic revision to the old job numbers. You mean Uncle Sugar hasn't been telling us the truth? I think you're going to find a lot more of this. What are the facts? What is going on with the economy? You know what? We just don't know. I mean, you can judge by what goes on at the grocery store or what kind of job you have and can get or cannot get. But other than your personal experience, there's no accurate information about the economy. Now, I can tell you what there is accurate information on. Gold vaults are empty. This has been the worst kept secret in the gold market for literally 20 years. That, if everybody who owned paper gold decided to take delivery of physical gold, there's not enough physical gold. Now, everybody goes, well, that's nice, and everyone has ignored it, and it doesn't matter until it matters. Well, guess what? It matters. Big blogs are reporting that it's almost impossible to borrow gold. That's not exactly true, but the rates to borrow gold have exploded. And the gold vaults in England are allegedly empty at the Bank of England, and the Bank of England is printing money to try to help the banks who would be in trouble, not with the law, but in trouble financially, if people who have paper gold can't get physical gold. Like if you look, like I got information last night that big vault companies, all right, have got more gold from just regular people storing it there, regular people and corporations, than people like, big banks have at the gold exchange in New York, COMEX. So what does that mean? Well, I'm going to tell you what it means. It means long Bitcoin, short the banks. It means you could have a disturbance in financial markets. If everybody goes and panics, you could have gold at $3,000 or $4,000. Now, I know what we want to moon is Bitcoin and our bags. And of course, there is a level of uncertainty around that volatility that could occur. But Bitcoin is hard money. Right. And you may have a situation in legacy where you've had, let's just say, irresponsible behavior for a very long time. Right. People who have borrowed gold a long time ago that haven't repaid it back. People who borrowed gold and sold it a long time ago and they have to go deliver it and they're going to have to buy it back in the open market. It's like a short squeeze of systemic proportions. Now, that has to help Bitcoin. And you're going to find out, even if you didn't understand anything I just said, you're going to find out why BlackRock wants to tokenize securities so it can access capital markets without banks. Without banks, right? Because, if there's a problem created by the gold market, I don't know how you solve that problem. And if banks are caught in the middle and there are, quote, defaults, that could be serious. That could be very serious. So you got to start asking yourself, now that everyone is bearish and now that everybody is like, I don't like crypto anymore, and all the Solana influencers are noticing that there's this big vibe shift and the AI agent coins are all down 60%. Everyone's like, what's the case for crypto? Well, how about crypto is hard money? How about that? How about Bitcoin is hard money? How about all of these other different types of financial products? Like, what happens if everybody goes to get out of banks and into DeFi suddenly? Has anyone thought about that? I don't think so. So they haven't told you the truth about anything. And now they may have to face the music. And that, I think, is bullish crypto, because I think that's why we were all here to begin with, right? I don't think we were all here to begin with going back, years to just buy and sell in 20 minutes. I don't think that's why we're here. I don't think that's why it was invented. And if you ever saw a reason why it was invented, while everybody calling the cycle top on, cringe magazine covers and, Michael Saylor changing the name of his company, some cringe there, but everybody's calling for a cycle top and everyone's saying it's the end. I don't know about that. I think, if anything, it could be the beginning, especially if you look at what's going on in the gold market. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's welcome who's here, right? Let's welcome who's here. All right, we got Arendam, Diogo, Roby, what's up? Hav, Gion, SGSG, the original. Old Smoky, not for the faint of heart. Leo, what's up? Right? What's going on? Alexandra here from Europe. Legend, CL, Warmon, Desiree, Cepetus, Shelly, good morning. Right? Stephen Bishop, Crypto Scam 1. Anthony Huber's Ranch, Iggy. Fort Knox is the most well-guarded empty building in the world. Very interesting, right? Pablo watching from Spain over there in Europe. Welcome to our friends overseas. Okay, news, let's go. News is very scattered. So 143,000 jobs were added. They expected 160-something thousand jobs. I can't even believe they go through the process of estimating this. Wait until the Doge guys get into the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's interesting that they haven't talked much about that or about going into the Fed yet. Okay. Jobs numbers under Biden, according to the headlines here, have been revised like either 600,000 lower or another 600,000 lower. I don't know. But they haven't been telling us the truth at all. At all. And that's the point of the job numbers. And then I think once Elon gets rolling with, layoffs, 10,000 people at a time inside the government, while it is good for crypto, I think that they cut costs and get rates down. Okay. That is obviously bullish. I think they're also on a very side tangent, getting all of us used to people losing their job in 10,000 person increments. This could happen in places like Google. Google recently got rid of certain, identity-based hiring practices, probably so they can engage in non-identity-based firing practices. This also leads to lower rates. This also leads to the case that if they don't build Web3, what are they going to build? Biden's legacy, 2024 jobs numbers revised roughly 600K lower. 600K. Okay? Unbelievable. They were lying to you the whole time. Yes, the market might be down right now, but BlackRock holds 60 billion Bitcoin, $60 billion. MicroStrategy has 30, and the government has 20. And don't forget, Satoshi has 100 billion. That's not coming out anytime soon. This is the thing you need to remember, right? It's like when the market was at the top, the bull posting by Saylor was obviously very entertaining. But why did BlackRock start the ETF? Why is Fidelity hoovering up Ethereum? Well, Ethereum has underperformed, yes. But Ethereum is also money. And Ethereum can also follow gold and silver. We've talked about this. Okay. Now, it's like, if you think about how much money flooded into the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF in the time span that it did, like BlackRock thought it was going to be 50 billion over time, and it was 50 billion immediately. Now, there was some FOMO involved with that, obviously, right? But there's also some rotation and allocation out of things like equities, because, I continue to read really interesting people who are talking about shenanigans in accounting at places like NVIDIA or Microsoft. Maybe, right? Everybody's got their own interpretation of accounting. Accounting isn't what you think it is. Accounting is an art and a science. So I don't know, man. A little bit of problem going on in the system out there, boys. Little issue with thinking your business is invincible, and then DeepSeek comes out, and regardless how much it costs, right? They came out with something. There's competition in the space. You are not invincible, you as in Web 2. And you're going to find out why BlackRock and all these entities want to do these things. Because I can tell you right now, they are not stupid. Like whatever happens in the news now, they knew about it a year ago or anticipated it a year ago. Okay, so Elon Musk's war on Washington. Everybody is all wound up about Elon Musk cutting costs. Okay, so let's just have an honest conversation about this and what it means for crypto. Elon Musk wants to go to Mars. That's what Elon wants to do. And Elon knows that if he doesn't go to Mars, he can't go to Mars if the U.S. government's bankrupt, because the U.S. government has to pay for him to go to Mars. It's that simple. So if he doesn't figure it out, it's not going to get figured out, obviously, because it's never been figured out. Hence the Pentagon's $600 million sushi budget. I think this brings rates down. I think the reason the Fed hasn't cut rates more, other than the fact that inflation is sticky, is because, they're saving money. They're saving rate cuts for the next problem, which could be unemployment from this Doge thing, right? Because everyone's like, yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, until people just stop paying their mortgages, until people turn in the keys and just walk away, right? So if you have lower rates, slower growth, and a problem with banks, that brings in the Fed. That brings in the Fed, that brings in lower rates, that brings in the printing press. And I think the unintended consequences of Doge is lower interest rates because of shockingly lower economic growth. No one's talking about that. I mean, yeah, Trump wants to get things going. And I know there's a lot of business optimism, but you can't do the things these guys are doing and have the problems that you have in the gold market without a possible chain reaction that affects the economy, brings in the Fed, and possibly helps crypto. I mean, if stocks are no good and bank stocks are no good and there's a problem in the gold market, I mean, yeah, gold could squeeze to 4,000, but are you going to buy paper gold or are you going to buy Bitcoin? Like, what market do you want to get involved in is my point. So here's the thing from Zero Hedge, right? You can't borrow gold. Hell has broken loose. Zero Hedge and all the Zero Hedge contributors have been writing about this for a very, very long time. The cost to borrow gold just exploded. Something's wrong. Like, something's very wrong. Like, the Bank of England is telling people 1 to 2 month wait for delivery for gold. Translated, there's no gold left in the Bank of England vaults. There's no gold left. Like, listen to this. Even if you don't understand it, try to follow this. The Bank of England cut rates while increasing their inflation expectations. If you think they did this to support UK economic growth, then remove your beer goggles. The Bank of England, running out of gold in the market inventory it didn't own, is now short. They're short. So not only is it empty, they're short. A central bank is short gold. Bank of England is actively injecting liquidity into insolvent financial institutions to keep them afloat without disclosing who gets the money. UK finances are broken and they can't afford to get going without drastic changes. Once upon a time, what the Bank of England did was just called currency devaluation. And that was the typical behavior of a broken central bank at the expense of those who have savings in the banks. Does that sound like a case for crypto to you? Because if that's true, and everybody is giving up on crypto and everybody is selling, the gold vaults are empty. Long Bitcoin, short the banks. Wouldn't it be funny if everyone got short crypto, everyone who was leveraged got liquidated, and everyone who owned spot puked it out and gave up? Like I said, Ansem, the Solana influencer was like, dude, the vibe change in like a month, not even a month. What was the inauguration? The 19th? We went from all bullish to all bearish in less than a month. Trump takes aim at private equity's favorite tax perk again. So Trump is actually getting advice from really smart people. And the point of this is this is like some shenanigans that private equity firms do to avoid taxes. And guess what? The orange man is like, you know what? I don't like this. And we're going to change it. Going back to this concept of, you are going to do what the orange man says. When he tells you it's happening, it's happening. And wouldn't it be funny if we're doing the sovereign wealth fund and we're buying Bitcoin and you find out why they're doing it, right? No, you think the reason that they're doing it is to pump your bags, which is, that's fine. You don't have to understand the ins and outs of this, but what happens if there's a problem with the banks? And that's why they want to get Bitcoin on, state and federal balance sheets. Has anyone thought about this? No one's thinking about it now because the only thing anybody's thinking about is the fact that, my crypto portfolio is down at least 30%, which is understandable. But there's other stuff going on here. There is. And if the orange man says we're doing it, there may be a reason why we're doing it. John McAfee, the Declaration of Cryptocurrency Independence. He actually did a video where he read parts of it. The reason why we're here, the reason why we do crypto to begin with, or the reason why people did crypto to begin with. Yeah, there's a wealth-making opportunity, but the wealth-making opportunity was a part of the rebellion against the system. That's what it was. And the system is more than just the White House. The system is the central banks. That's the real system that we're rebelling against. Because what these guys have done cannot be unwound by Doge. If anything, Doge is a distraction from the real problem, right? Good to see the Declaration of Cryptocurrency Independence getting attention again. Newcomers to crypto need to hear it, read it, and a lot of us who have been here for a while need a refresher. It's not just about getting rich. It's about actually using crypto to free yourself. This is from a guy who gave me a hard time about liking the original McAfee project, who's now on board. Because again, what this guy had to say about crypto, what this guy had to say about the IRS, what this guy had to say about career bureaucrats. I mean, I do have a video in here, right, where, McAfee talks about career bureaucrats at all these agencies where people are now getting fired, acting as essentially a non-democratic government in the United States. And they're going away, and everyone thinks it's a problem. They're going away. Seriously. Now, that doesn't mean that the problems that they created go away, but they're going away. And if the orange man says he's going to do it, he's going to do it. Okay, new SocialFi app, Focus, just opened up for private investors. Okay. I know this is going to sound crazy, but there does need to be social media alternatives, right? There are basically two platforms, right? There's one for video and there's one for text, right? We know what they are. So, having any kind of competition in social media is a good thing. And this is breaking news. Coinbase to list Pengu and Popcat for spot trading. So we continue to wait for Coinbase to list something on Base, but we did get Pengu out of it, and that is good, I guess, right? Jobs report is here. Okay, here is the jobs report. Okay, unemployment rate at 4%, hiring slowed, Payroll gains for the previous 2 months were revised up, depicting an even more robust labor picture at the end of the year. Okay. So a mixed picture on jobs. We'll see what that looks like after Doge gets done. Okay. This week's initial jobless claims could spike 10x thanks to Doge. So also a reminder, the jobs number is a retroactive version of the economy. In other words, the jobs number looks in the past. If you want to look at the future, you have to look at the people filing for unemployment claims. We'll see what that looks like after the Doge guys get done. Okay, Wisdom Tree, Bitcoin ETF, and XRP ETF. Okay, Van Eck predicts $500 Solana by the end of the year. You get a lot of these big predictions, okay, which, people are super bearish now. So when these predictions come out, they're kind of immune to them. People aren't asking themselves how you get to $520 Solana. They're not asking this question. Here's how you get to $520 Solana. AI agents start an ICO boom on Twitter. On Solana. Okay. And who knows? We anticipate McAfee being back on Twitter, even though that takes a long time. We're keeping the faith. AI agents are going to start an ICO boom on Solana, most likely. And there's going to be new stuff coming out all the time. There's new stuff coming out now, right? So big exchanges are listing the old stuff. Okay, well, it's good to list Popcat after it's down 90%. And I've talked about Pengu having a long-term value proposition because Pudgy Penguins is going to connect products to it, and you're going to have like a phygital relationship. It's like buy Pudgy Penguins products with our coin. Okay. Solana goes to $500. Solana gets to $500 with an ICO boom on Solana. And everyone thinks that can't happen, but it can happen, particularly if Bitcoin starts leading again as a future of money and takes XRP and Ethereum with it. Like, there is a value proposition. And if you want to know, like, I've got it in here somewhere that, everyone is talking about, of all things, a Litecoin ETF, right? I guess Litecoin must know somebody. It's fascinating, right? You know what I'm saying? That somebody would go, yeah, let's do a Litecoin ETF. But again, more power to them. More power to them. All right. 4 years later, labor productivity is down 3%, while inflation-adjusted compensation has also fallen. Biden bragged about adding jobs as if he was employing people himself, but the reality is he left the labor market in tatters. So again, this is an economist that's actually going through the labor market. So, we can listen to him, or, you can read what the media or like the regular press, like USA Today, writes. Lower rates. Okay, let's look at some charts. So gold is at resistance. That's an interesting fact for crypto because I think it's time for Bitcoin to frankly catch up. We'll see. If the gold vaults are empty, that has huge implications for the banks. That could create a huge amount of volatility in crypto, both up and down. But the gold vaults are empty. Okay. Dollar is at the lower end of its range. This is the DXY 4-hour chart. So I'm sort of wondering when everyone figures out that if you have a problem with sterling, the euro, and the yen, that the answer to that is not the dollar. And the answer to that might be gold, assuming that market even continues to function. Because if you want to hear some really wacky, wild stuff, what happens if they have to close the gold market? Like, what happens if the Fed and Trump have to come in and say, okay, we're now revaluing gold at $10,000 an ounce, and you're going to sell us all your gold at $10,000 an ounce so we can sort this problem out? or $5,000 an ounce or whatever they decide to do. It's happened, right? They have to shut the market down, raise the price, say we're going to take everyone's gold at that price, and that's it. The gold market doesn't function anymore. Because how do you solve that problem that, people who want it can't get it? I don't even know. But, there have been ideas. I remember I read them a long time ago that, gold has to be repriced at $5,000 or $6,000 as an agreement by global governments. And then everyone turns in their gold. Not your keys, not your coins. Remember that? I think this is the hidden value proposition for crypto, right? Crypto as money, crypto as a market that even though there's nauseating volatility, at least it functions, right? You had a bigger liquidation than FTX and our market functioned. I don't know if their market's going to function. I mean, this is out with the Bank of England, right? Can you imagine getting, I know we have problems in crypto from time to time. Can you imagine, Coinbase telling people it's 2 weeks to get your money out? Or it's 2 weeks to get your crypto? I don't know. I think that is very interesting and very underreported. Okay, so Bitcoin is up 2% off the jobs numbers. Okay, Bitcoin's got to get back through 100. This is the Bitcoin 4-hour chart. We've talked about this. 100 is basically equilibrium. So sitting at equilibrium is not bad. But it's not what we want. But, the labor market sucks. I'm sorry. It sucks. USA Today will probably try to tell you some story about how great it is. They've been telling you that BS story for a long time. And I don't think anyone's buying it. I don't think anyone's buying it. Right. So let's talk about XRP. Very, very, very 87-ish. We talked about this yesterday, right? XRP went down. My bad. Let's go to a daily chart. You had XRP, which looked like $1 million, right? But that Lux Algo premium zone, again, remind me not to say this time might be different. It hits the Lux Algo premium zone, and then it comes off. And everyone gets negative. That's the whole thing. Everyone got negative, and XRP is sat right at the 38% retracement, which is the perfect retracement that you would expect in kind of a up-only market, right? That's exactly what you would expect. Up 38%, up 62%. It's amazing how normal retracements, which I agree, feel horrible because everybody on crypto Twitter is like, oh my God, it's the end. And we know that if big cap cryptos are down 20 to 25%, that everyone else's bags are down 70%. I get it. But if you look at this chart, they wicked through a support level and then they dipped it back to a big chart point. And now we got to think about this, right? We got to think about this. The Declaration of Cryptocurrency Independence and what that means for ETH, what that means for all these trading projects. And again, you have centralized exchanges listing meme coins, I guess because that's either profitable or because people understand them. If you look at the chart of, say, PopCat, it's kind of stunning what happened after they listed it up here. Like all the big exchanges like Kraken and whatnot listed it, unloaded it on retail. Now, it essentially went back to where the meme super cycle started. That's incredible, right? That's incredible. But I don't know. Is PopCat now value investing? Is PopCat going to pop out of here and lead the meme market? Oh, that'd be okay with me. But I don't think that's the whole reason why this market is up. This market is up because the labor market sucks and they're about to lay off a huge swath of people on the East Coast. This, again, this is not, everyone's like, yeah, wow, yeah, let's get these guys. Dude, this is like thousands of people. Thousands of people. I mean, you gotta ask yourself, how many people fit in a basketball stadium? Like, let's go to the bond market. I know you don't want to go to the bond market, but let's go to the bond market because we got to talk about these things, right? I mean, we're definitely going to do crypto stuff. Don't worry. But I mean, look, the interest rates are actually higher. God, this silly goose. Okay. And Elon has already met with Jamie Dimon on this. They got to get rates down. They got to get rates down. This is long-term interest rates in the United States. They got to get rates down. This is not controlled by the Fed. This is controlled by perception, which is what Elon is trying to do. He's trying to create the perception. You got to ask yourself, this is just one agency, USAID. 10,000 people. I was like, oh, 10,000 people. Do you realize what, 10,000 people is a small U.S. college basketball stadium. Most basketball stadiums are like 18 to 20,000, like the professional ones. I went to school and our basketball arena held like 9,000. If you think about a stadium, maybe football or soccer stadiums in Europe, can you imagine having a basketball stadium and then telling everybody in the basketball stadium that, they're going to pick up their pink slip and their severance pay on their way out of the stadium, that they're all out of work right there. Okay. Rates are going to come down and the crypto market smells it. Okay. Now they just got to get the credibility to get the bond market to start moving, and then crypto could accelerate. But it seems to me to be very clear that everyone just gave up on crypto. Everybody just packed it in. Like, let's go to virtual, right? 78% retracement. Don't want it. At 5 billion, it was fantastic. But at 2 billion, 1 billion, 1.3 billion market cap, 1.3. This thing came all the way back down to where it started from, and AI agents are going to start an ICO boom. I don't understand why no one gets that, right? And it's going to be better than dog and cat coins because they're going to have functionality, right? That's what an AI agent is. Everyone's like, ooh, I got to get an AI agent coin. Okay. Well, you do, because AI agents do things on their own. And everyone's like, no, I don't want it anymore. I'm upset. Right? Right? Ski. Let's hope they can revive this, because all they did was take the battle up here and move it to the battle down here. Now, if you just draw the fib numbers on this, they got work to do. But, frequently what the market does is it pushes everybody out, makes everyone think it's no good right before it turns, which is probably exactly what they did yesterday. Right? This market looked horrible yesterday. Absolutely horrible. I was like, I just walked away. I was like, I'm done. I don't want to look at this. They want to take it down. Let them take it down. And I talked about yesterday about you had a Friday top last week, and maybe you have a Friday or Saturday bottom this week. Here's your Friday bottom, right? Off these employment numbers. The gold vaults are empty and the employment numbers are all baloney. And they have been for years. As they say in equities, it doesn't matter until it matters. Now it matters, especially since everybody just gave up on crypto when the Declaration of Cryptocurrency Independence was never more important. Never more important. So Solana, where the ICO boom's going to be, okay, you have the 9 bottom, and then, you had this 3-day decline, okay? The market kind of has to make a decision to sort of fix some of these charts. This is Bitcoin on a daily chart. Theoretically, you could have 2 more down days, but I'd be okay if they just reversed it today. Okay, Chainlink coming back above support. A lot of coins did this. They ripped it below support. They stopped everybody out. They made you think it was bearish, and then they're bringing it back. Sometimes in bull markets, you got to buy it when it looks the worst. You got to buy it when it looks the worst. ETH. Just a reminder that ETH hasn't gone anywhere. It's been in the same range for like the longest time. It doesn't go anywhere. And, I understand if you don't want to hear it, I get it. But what would ever happen if it did? Because, Fidelity and all these characters are buying it. I'm sure Vitalik is happy about that because that's what prevents it from crashing. Because I'm sure crypto people would just say to hell with it and walk away. Let's be honest. American-made crypto, Algorand, holding support after trading like total garbage yesterday. Oh, wait, there's a case for crypto? You mean there's a reason why we're all here? Yeah, bro, there's a reason why we're all here, right? This Hedera chart. So let me just talk about this. And this is true in general. I'm not going to go into all the mathematics. So first of all, it would be a good idea for Hedera specifically if the market would get its act together right now. If it did, that could be super bullish, meaning if the market was actually able to hold in the face of what seemed like negative charts, that would be bullish. And it's very typical in a bull market to have all the charts break and then have it turn. We'll see, right? Long Bitcoin, short the banks. In other words, if you think about why you're here, I know you're here to make money. We all are. But when it gets negative is when you need research. When everybody goes from all bullish to all bearish in 20 days, isn't it logical to ask yourself, what's the middle ground? I think the middle ground is weaker job numbers, lower dollar, lower rates, and the loss of confidence in banks, fiat, and possibly legacy capital markets. Because, the accounting behind tech companies is baloney. It's baloney, right? And even if it's not baloney, you have to ask yourself, is that the best investment for 2025? No. Okay, gold is going to go up. And if you own physical gold, you're sitting pretty. But I mean, are you going to go in and buy a gold futures contract or a gold ETF to take advantage of the price rise? Do you want to be involved in that market? Like, do you want to buy something that says you can get a physical product when you can't get it? I mean, in some ways, the Bitcoin ETF is like that, but in other ways, you can just go right to Coinbase. So what market do you want to participate in? I don't think anyone's asking these questions. And I think the financial legacy press is probably very hard at work writing weekend articles about what is going on in gold. I think the next group of articles is what's going on with tech stocks and accounting. And even if that's not true, why did we all just give up on crypto? Like, do you think I've been here for 5 years to just pack it up and say, oh, yeah, I thought the government's job was to pump our bags. No, it's not. It's our job to use crypto to get away from governments. Because even if you like Donald Trump or if you don't like Donald Trump, the fact of the matter is the Fed, even maybe the intelligence community, the State Department, the Pentagon, they have created messes that you are not going to clean up in a day. Why do you think Elon Musk came on board? Because everything's fine? People don't realize that, Elon Musk is like, he's going to be known for the guy that told everybody how it was. And once everybody gets told how it really is, what are they going to do? It's like the jobs market, right? It's like, oh, gee, 600,000 jobs. You need a lion for at least the full year. What market do you want to participate in? These are questions you have to ask yourself when your bags are down. And I know you feel like puking them all out because I do. I looked at this yesterday and I'm like, oh my God, this looks horrible. And it never trades good at a bottom. Okay, that's it for the market update. We'll see you next week.